Hello, welcome to today's mini lesson on principles of training. Now, when asked about principles of training, there's two main acronyms that you want to be aware of, and the first of those is the FITT principle. And what FITT stands for, the first is frequency. This is how many sessions per week, so how many per week that you're completing in your training program. The second, or I, stands for intensity. This is how hard or easy that you are working during your training. Next is T for time. How long are you spending either when training, so your work periods and your rest periods, or just how long the overall session is in general. And the second T is type. So what type or what sort of training are you doing? Is it weights? Is it circuit? Is it cardio? Is it high intensity interval training? What type or what method of training are you pursuing? So that's the FITT principle of training. The second is S.P.O.R.R.R.V.I.A, slightly longer, but again, each letter signifies a principle. So the first is specificity. Is the training that you're doing relevant to your sport? So if you know that you're playing football, some skill or physical related components of fitness that are demanded might be agility and might be aerobic endurance. So is your training meeting these demands and preparing you for that? Second, we have progressive overload. The clue's in the name here. We need to make sure that our training gets harder over time. Okay, if it's not getting harder, then we're not going to be seeing the improvements that we want. Next up, we have rest and recovery. This is time off. We need to have time off from training in order to allow our body time to relax, to recover, to replenish its stores, and to repair the muscles. This is also when muscles grow and will lead to that progress we see over time. If we take too much time off, however, we have reversibility. This is regress as opposed to progress. Okay, so if we take too long off, we're not going to see progress. Instead, we're going to see results go back to what they were before. Next up, we have variation. This just means that we are mixing things up. So we aren't just doing the same repetitive exercises or methods of training every single week. We're mixing it up and we're doing different things to keep ourselves interested and motivated. Individualized. This is less to do with the specificity of the sport. It's more to do with the individual. So does it align with the performer's goals or motivations? So are they wanting to do this? Is this what they want to be doing with their time? Adaptation. This is what we have to sort of cater for because we are going to be making progress. So our training needs to be catering for progress. Are we making it harder? Are we altering the training drills which we're doing to incorporate the new level of skills that we've now developed? So we cater for progress. And that's that. We have the FITT principle there, and we have the S.P.O.R.R.R.V.I.A principle there. Now, why? Why do we actually care about principles of training? The first is because of boredom. So by using the principles such as variation, we are avoiding the tedium that might set in if we turn up to training and we're, let's say, a rower, sat down on the same rowing machine or sat down on the same part of the boat and all we're doing is rowing for hours on end. If we can vary the type of training that we're doing or the methods of training that we pursue, then we can eliminate boredom. Second, we keep it focused. So if we are thinking about individualized training schedules or programs, then what that means is that we are aligning our training schedule to what we want out of it. So is it actually taking us to the end goal that we can see ourselves achieving? So it needs to keep it focused, as well as that idea of specific training drills or specific exercises for the sport that we are pursuing. Thirdly, we have effective. So this links here to the idea of progressive overload. If we're not making things gradually harder, then our body is going to get to a period of ease and we're no longer going to see that progress happen. It's going to become ineffective if it doesn't, or if it isn't made harder, because then our body won't need to adapt and get better to overcome the new challenges that we give it. All of these will then lead us to achieve our optimal performance. So if we are using the correct methods of training or the correct type of training, if we are allowing rest and recovery periods of time, then we are going to see those adaptations occur and we are going to be creating our optimized performance. Also with rest and recovery, we will avoid injury. If we are building in time into our training schedule to take time off and allow our muscles to grow, allow ourselves to think about what we have gone through and then address any sort of problems which we need to do in the future, then we can avoid injury. So we can avoid this idea of exhaustion or overworked muscles or mind. And that's that. So if you like that, then do share, follow, tag, or you can always find the PE Tutor on any of its social media sites at the PE Tutor. Okay, see you later.